Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Fall has arrived in Central Indiana tonight. Number 1 rated Class A Lutheran hosts Class 3A Monrovia as we march on in Week 7 of Indiana High School football. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Walensky along with Thad Van Evener. Tonight's Lutheran-Monrovia clash pits the undefeated Saints. They're 6-0 with a young Monrovia football group that enters tonight's contest at 2-4. Will the Saints keep marching on? We'll be back after these messages to look at this matchup. You're watching high school football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
I bought a 2020 Kia Telluride. It's amazing. I love how spacious it is. I can fit all of my children in there as well as all of my signs for my job. The customer experience here is top-notch. They are super quick, get me in, whether it's an oil change or anything else, and make sure that I am well taken care of.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. It's Friday night and time for Indiana High School football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit Universal at universalrfg.com. And brought to you in part by Genesis Sports Performance. Visit Genesis at genesissportsperformance.com. And by Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. And by High Gear Marketing at highgearmktg.com. Now, let's go to the field for Indiana High School football live on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net.
Welcome back to the home of the top-ranked Lutheran Saints. I'm Mike Walensky. Joining me tonight is Thad Van Evener. And Thad, Andy Olson's Monrovia Bulldogs are 2-4. They dropped last Friday's matchup with Beech Grove 44-32. The two teams met last year with the Saints clipping the Bulldogs 36-12 at Monrovia. Thad, what can Coach Olson find in tonight's game?
Well, look, they got to get the running game going, right? I mean, that's the attack they want to do. They want to ground and pound, right? And against Lutheran, you got to try to control the clock. Your best defense is keeping their offense on the sideline as long as possible.
Dave Patch, the Saints have won 21 straight. This is a club that comes off an impressive conference win over Cecina last Friday, 28-19. The Saints offense has produced like a machine.
Yeah, let's start with the starting quarterback, right? Willis, he's an absolute machine out there. He's averaging 308 yards through the air per game. They're going to sling it around. I know that when you look at a 1A school, a lot of times you don't think passing attack. When you talk about Lutheran Saints football, they're going to put it up. But they've got good balance as well. They're averaging over 100 yards on the ground per game. You know, they're putting up a ton of yards offensively. They're really dominating, really, at the point. The line of scrimmage is the biggest key for them up front.
When we return, it'll be Indianapolis Lutheran and Monrovia on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
Accurate. He can throw it when they need to. 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. But for Monrovia, a lot of pressure on the defensive backfield. Try to control the clock with the ground game if they can to keep Lutheran off the field.
Eli Wagner, number 11, the quarterback, as you mentioned, for Monrovia, is one of the captains. This is a football team that is going to be playing tonight without their leading ground gainer and an outstanding linebacker, and Brayton Belcher, the junior, 6'2", 195. He will not suit up tonight for Andy Olson's ball club. They're going to have to find a way to be able to run the football without Belcher, let alone defend the passing game from an outstanding Lutheran attack.
And look, Coach Olson likes his offensive line. They are big, they're strong, they're a physical group, and really they want to run it in between the tackles, right? They're not going to go a lot of outside. They're not going to go outside pitch. They're not student body right, student body left like the old USC days. They want to keep it between the tackle box and really try to force those guys on the defensive line to make them stop at the line of scrimmage.
And before our pregame prayer,
and with that, Thad, let's take a timeout. You're watching high school football, Lutheran, Monrovia, on IndianaHighSchoolSportsNet.com.
I bought a 2020 Kia Telluride. It's amazing. I love how spacious it is. I can fit all of my children in there as well as all of my signs for my job. The customer experience here is top notch. They are super quick, get me in, whether it's an oil change or anything else, and make sure that I am well taken care of.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
I drive a 2022 Telluride Nightfall Edition. I love it. So when we found out we were having twins, we knew we needed a bigger car with a third row. So the Telluride with the captain's chairs fits perfectly with our family. It gets great gas mileage. Actually, we went to Holiday World and got averaged about 29 miles a gallon. I like the lane keep assist because sometimes kids can distract you and you're not noticing what you're doing, and it beeps at you if you are getting too close to the lines. Ray Skillman Kia is my store. I'll never go to any other store. Can you say, I love Kia?
Kia.
Say, I love Kia. Yay!
It's Lutheran 6-0 and Monrovia 2-4 upcoming. Monrovia has elected to take the kickoff here. And for the Bulldogs, back deep, number 4, Jackson Ferris, along with number 8, Ethan Followell for the Bulldogs. And kicking off to start off this ball game is a freshman, Dax Locklear. And this is a football team in Monrovia that averages over 300 yards total offense in this ball game, Thad. They've got to be able to find a way to control the clock to do that. You've talked about running the football and moving the chains, but frankly, if they throw the football, that's a good thing too. They've just got to find a way to keep their offense on the field.
Yeah, at some point you're going to have to match Lutheran, right? I mean, Lutheran's averaging 48 points a game, so you're going to have to light up the scoreboard a little bit just to stay in the contest with them. It's one thing to control the clock, it's another thing to control the scoreboard, right? So you got to put some points up.
Short kick taken at the 15-yard line and fumbled there. Monrovia with the return on the short side of the field after about a 10-yard return. That was 32 Josie Hand with the return, and Lutheran does a nice job of covering that kick. First down and 10 for Andy Olson and the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and we'll see what they elect to do. You mentioned Belcher out for tonight's game, so we'll see who they put in the backfield to start off the night. But really, I'm interested to see if they try to tweak their game plan a little bit. Try to catch Lutheran off guard a little bit here in the first quarter, try to maybe go to the air early, and try to switch up the Saints defense.
Eli Wagner, a quarterback, leads the charge for the Bulldogs, 30 out of 64 this year, 614 yards throwing, 7 touchdowns on the season, and 5 interceptions. For this senior captain for Andy Olson's Monrovia Bulldogs as we start the ball game. The handoff off the backside and the run off the left side. I believe that's Dominic Kindle with the carry. He's the leading ground gainer, 325 yards for Monrovia, averaging 5.2 yards per game, but Lutheran was there to wrap him up.
Yeah, a little bit of misdirection right there. The wingback comes around, they hand it off to him. Not much of a gain on that. The other thing, too, interesting already, they went to the short side of the field right there, Mike, and I think what they're going to try to do is make sure that they've kind of got man-on-man out there and then find a hole. They're not concerned about getting their guys out into space necessarily.
Eli Wagner looks over the defense, the quarterback, 3-man front for the Saints. Off the left side, and a solid run after a gain of about 5 yards.
That's what we talked about, Mike, in the pregame show. Between the tackles is their bread and butter. That's where they want to keep it, right up the middle, just like they performed right there. A lot of pressure up front on the starting 5 on the offensive line for Monrovia tonight.
Josie Hand was the ball carrier, a gain of 5 on the play for Monrovia. It'll be third down and about 4.5 yards to go. Potentially a passing play for Eli Wagner and the Bulldogs as the crowd begins to light up here at Lutheran. Wagner to the fullback. I believe he's short of the first down. Lutheran's defense did a nice job up front on the attack. One of the tacklers was 67, Gavin Mims.
And he was hit at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. But it looks like Monrovia, at least right now, they're going to line up here on 4th down.
Josie Hand was the ball carrier again. He gained just 1 yard. It'll be 4th down and a long 2 to go for the Bulldogs. Dustin Kostrevsky in the backfield along with Wagner, number 7. The give to Hand. I think he's short of the first down.
It's going to be close, and I think the side judge says that he's got it.
79 once again, Cameron McCaney.
Cameron McCaney, number 79, a defensive tackle, was a Lutheran Saint. Outstanding size up front for the Saints, was able to make the tackle, but they're going to give Monrovia the first down.
Yeah, big for the Bulldogs here to start the game. Really lively crowd here on our side, as you guys can probably hear online.
Wagner, a 2-back set. Hand and Kostrevsky in the backfield for Andy Olson's Bulldogs. This is Hand, and he gets a couple yards before he's dropped. Again, the big guy, number 79 for Lutheran. McCamey was able to make the tackle. He is a horse inside. Cameron McCaney, 6'1", 260. Not only that, but he's just a freshman.
Yeah, that guy's seen in the weight room a time or two. You know what I mean, Mike? On that first down play, though, that's exactly what Monrovia wants to do. Kind of muddy it up inside. First down, get yourself 3.5 yards. If they could do that every down, they'd be extremely happy.
Jackson Ferris lined up to the far side, number 4. 3 in motion is Corbin Burns. Hand, make that Kostrevsky off the left side. That's Dustin Kostrevsky. Came into the ball game. 38 carries for 368 yards and a touchdown, and that's solid yards.
Yeah, again, just like I said, 3 yards, puts you at about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2.5 right here, exactly where the Bulldogs want to be as they reach midfield.
Spencer Bauer, coming in the ball game with 31 tackles, number 44 for the Lutheran Saints, is credited with that tackle for Coach Dave Pash's ball club. Remember, Lutheran, defending Class 1A champion, ranked number 1 Class 4A right now. Sagarin has him listed at number 17 overall. Toss to him, Kostrevsky. He's got a first down. He's across the 50-yard line. And Monrovia is showing some size, as you talked about, on the up front line as Bauer makes the tackle for Lutheran. That's a first down.
And just the second time on this drive, they kind of went outside the tackles, right? A nice little quick pitch out to the left. And again, though, Mike, they're not afraid to keep it on the short side of the field. Even though the boundary's right there, they're okay with that. They really want to get man-on-man matchups.
It'll be first down and 10 for Monrovia. The football at the 48-yard line. The good news for Andy Olson is the clock is running with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first period of play, and there's no score. Eli Wagner with the 2-back set. Kostrevsky and Hand. This is Kostrevsky, number 7. Gets by 1 tackler. Nice move on the inside, and then he's hammered inside the 45-yard line. Bauer came up with the tackle. And also number 55, one of the linebackers, Lewis Mobley, a senior, 5'11", 210 pounds.
Yeah, let me tell you, positive yards there for Monrovia, but when he got to the second level, that was a pop. You could hear that one up here. Those linebackers came flying to the football there.
4-yard gain for Kostrevsky. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Monrovia. Inside of Lutheran territory. Lutheran is playing the run. They've got about 9 guys, maybe even 10 inside the box there. They give to Hand, and he's met right at the point of attack. Outstanding defensive play there. That was number 52, Hunter Johnson, the senior, 6'2", 230 pounds, got him first.
Yeah, Johnny Hall was in there too, number 16. You've seen Bauer, you've seen Hall. Those linebackers here, I know it's early, but they've been active.
Johnny Hall leads the tackling for the Saints this year. Number 16, as Thad mentioned, with 41 stops for Coach Pash's ball club. Another big 3rd down play for Andy Olson. Corbin Burns wide to the left, the lone receiver. The give to the second running back going through. That's 37. He's on his way to the end zone. Nice run by Monrovia all the way inside the 5-yard line. That is a huge run for the Bulldogs. And that was Asher Clements. Asher Clements with a big gain off the left side.
Huge gain out there. Great blocking up front. Misdirection again. And, Mike, what have we been talking about? They have been coming to the short side of the field. First time we've seen it, they went a little bit off script. He had all kinds of daylight out there off the left side.
Josie Hand and Koshevsky in the backfield with Eli Wagner. First and goal for Monrovia. The Bulldogs trying for an upset. The give to Koshevsky. He's at the goal line, and he stopped short. The official looks like in a marking about the 1-yard line.
Now, if you're Coach Olson here at the 1, you're definitely going to go heavy package here and try to – you've got 3 attempts to punch this in. They're going to go heavy. They're going to rely on that offensive line right here.
Cameron McCaney, once again, the big defensive lineman, was able to make the stop for the Lutheran Saints. It'll be second and goal for the Monrovia Bulldogs. Here in the first quarter, 5 minutes to play, no score. Wagner, 2 setbacks. Burns in motion to the right side. He's set. The give. Hand over the goal line. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Josie Hand. Monrovia on top. The visitors 6-0.
Just like we talked about, straight up the middle. Don't try to fancy it up. Let's just play some smash mouth. And if you're Coach Olson and the Bulldogs, an absolutely gorgeous drive to start this game. Exactly what you wanted. Nearly 7-8 minutes off the clock right there. Go down the field and get 6.
Emery Newland will come in for the extra point, number 87, for the Monrovia Bulldogs. However, Wagner, the quarterback, stepping in. They may go for 2 here.
I like the call here from Coach Olson. Nothing to lose really right now. Conference game. You're familiar with them. You've had success already in this drive. Let's see if they can stop you.
And they will go for 2. Wagner, 2 set backfield. They have not thrown the football at all here. Wagner back to pass. Pitches to the right. Koshevsky throws. It is knocked away at the last minute. An outstanding defensive play by the Lutheran Saints. It's Joseph Smith, number 1, I believe was the guy that deflected the football on the backside of the end zone.
Well, you called it, Mike. They hadn't run a passing play the whole drive, and then on the 2-point conversion, a little bit of trickery. Let's put it in the air, see if it converts. Nice play there by Irvin.
The score remains Monrovia 6, Lutheran nothing. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade high school athletes. Genesis Sports Performance also does adult strength training. Visit them at genesisportsperformance.com. Great drive by Andy Olson's ball club.
Hey, we talked about it earlier. Lutheran's averaging 48 points a game. Well, Monrovia's averaging 27.8, so they are able to score. And what they did there, they perfectly executed what you wanted to do, right? You run 7-8 minutes off the clock. You go get some points. You keep Jackson Willis on the sideline. We're getting ready to see him here. But, and the other thing, averaging just over 200 yards on the ground per game, chewed up about 65 or 70 right there on that first drive if you're Monrovia. Really, really what Coach Olson's been telling his guys all week.
Boss Jones and Brian Shelby are deep. It's a kick by Newland, an onside kick, and that is recovered by the Lutheran Saints. Wow. That one is picked up at about the 43-yard line. It looks like number 16 was the guy, Johnny Hall, was able to recover that onside kick by Emery Newland. Again, Coach Olson going to the bag of tricks, trying to win this football game on the road, trying to break this outstanding streak by the Saints.
It's Riverboat Andy now, right? I mean, you've heard of Riverboat Ron. Now it's Riverboat Andy. He's pulling all the tricks out of his bag here early. Really great play here by Hall, by the way, to get that possession of that football because it looked a little dicey there for a second.
Jackson Willis, the southpaw sophomore, with 23 touchdowns. Here's a run on the left side, the 50, outside of the 45-yard line, an outstanding run right off the bat there. An outstanding run by the Lutheran Saints. That was number 5. And that was Brian Shelby. We have Shelby listed as number 8, but he's wearing number 5 tonight. Willis with 23 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. He's thrown for over 1,848 yards. Tops in the IHSA. He's an outstanding quarterback. Here's the run on the right side to Boss Jones. Gets by one tackler, and he's going to be swarmed under. Monrovia had that read right.
Yeah, great job on the defense. First of all, the defensive line does a nice job. They're pushing, they're trying to keep him inbounds. And then that second unit comes in, right, and they swarm to the football and make that tackle.
Loss on the play of about 1.5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 12 for Jackson Willis. Joe Davis is the leading rusher for this ball club. Has 741 yards rushing this year with 13 touchdowns. Blitz down the middle. He's going to look to the left. Throws, it is caught. And the tackle is made there. Excellent defensive play there on the corner by Dominic Kindle. But Boss Jones makes the catch.
Good pass and catch there. Nice tackle there on the sideline. But, Willis, 2nd and long, that doesn't seem to faze him, right?
3rd and short. Willis, a southpaw. Davis, stutter step. Excellent defensive effort by Monrovia, but a nice job by Joe Davis. He turned those legs forward. It'll be very, very close.
Yeah, second effort there from Davis. Gets him close. Going to be about 0.5 yard short.
And on the stop, Josie Haynes.
And I think Coach Pash right here, inside your own territory, no reason to not go for it.
Dave Pash, his ball club 6-0, ranked 17 by Sagarin overall in the state of Indiana, number 1. 4A, the ball's caught, and a great job of taking that football by Jones. It's a first down.
And how about that, Mike? You got 4th and 0.5 yard. You're going to put it in the hands of your best player, right? So you're going to throw it. You're going to throw it on 4th and 0.5 yard. That's awesome.
First down for Lutheran. Actually, 4 is listed now. Devon Jones was a receiver there for Lutheran. Willis back to pass, looking to his right in the corner of the end zone. It is incomplete. That was Jones again, the intended receiver. On the coverage there for Monrovia, it was number 7, Dustin Krzyzewski, the running back who plays both ways.
I mean, that was a good ball there by Willis, and the defense was also spectacular. That's a great play all the way around.
Actually, the intended receiver there was Brian Shelby. 2nd and 10 for Lutheran.
And they got trips out here, Mike.
Jones, he's got plenty of space. 20. Run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. First down. Kindle, the tackler.
See, that time, Mike, they had 3 receivers out there to the left. They pitch it out there. They want to put him in space, but those receivers did a great job of blocking downfield, clearing him enough room to get him loose down the sideline.
1st and goal now at the 9 for Lutheran. Willis, 2 strips, looks to his right, throws, it's caught, and this is a touchdown. That's Devon Jones. Devon Jones, number 4, was the guy that caught the pass, the 9-yarder. It's tied, 6-6.
And a great job there by Jones. He lines up in the slot. He acts like he's going to come into the middle of the field, takes it back out. He's wide open in the flat. Willis hits him, and he strolls right in for 6.
Fires away.
That is a 24th touchdown pass of the year for Jackson Willis. Jones out of the Wildcat, the toss to the right side, and that's a 2-point conversion. And that was 23, the leading receiver. The leading receiver, McCoy. McCoy for the 2-point conversion. And it's 8-6.
And what a unique setup there for the Saints. They line up as if they're going to kick it, the extra point, and then they quick snap it, throw it out to the guy in the flat. He's got some blockers in front of him, and then it's just a dive right into the end zone.
So just as Monrovia picked up the momentum with the opening drive and a touchdown, here come the Saints. Not only they get the football on the board quickly, but they get the 2.
And not only do they match you, right, after Monrovia puts together a really great drive on their first possession, Lutheran marches down the field, only takes them a couple of minutes, right? They match you for 6, then they get the 2 to go ahead, 8-6. And, you've got to be pretty impressed with Jackson Willis, right? Hasn't been in a lot of tight games, probably hasn't been behind, but maybe once all season, right? Gets the football back, and what do? They march straight down the field and put it in.
And that's something that Dave Pash talked about, that he really hasn't had an opportunity to play a lot of his starters, and that's unfortunate to some degree with a team that wants to win a state championship. Dax Locklear will do the kicking here. Our game tonight built by University Roofing and Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. Genesis Sports Performance, another sponsor for tonight's game. Training Indianapolis area graded high school athletes. Visit genesissportsperformance.com as Locklear will do the kicking. Hand at the 16. And he's going to be downed quickly at the 25-yard line after a 9-yard gain. And Lutheran, number 3, Josiah King, was the guy that came down and made a great stop.
Yeah, great coverage there on the return.
On the return, number 32, Josie Hand. Bulldogs take over, ball spotted 25 yards.
So now for Monrovia, Mike, the big question is, can you duplicate what you did on that opening drive?
Well, they've got to be able to do that. They've got to be able to find a way to turn the chains here in the first half and keep this game close. As Eli Wagner goes under center. Josie Hand is the guy that they've carried the football most of the first drive, and that's Hand again off the right side, but Lutheran does a great job coming off the ball and dropping him quickly after a gain of maybe 1.
I think that was Gavin Mims in on the hit.
And Mims, the junior, 6 foot, 245 pounds. There is some size up front. We talked about McCaney, the freshman, doing a really nice job for Coach Pash's ball club. They know they've got to stop the run, but at some point, Monrovia could run a little play action, make something happen here. It'll be up to Eli Wagner to run the controls here for the Bulldogs. It'll be second down at about 9. Krzyzewski in motion. Wagner back to pass, looking for Burns, and over his head.
And that was great coverage there by Lutheran. And if you look, I mean, I know the pass went high. If he would have tried to hit him in the chest, that ball is intercepted and taken back to the house. So actually a pretty good throw there by Wagner. Put it in the only spot where either his guy was getting it or nobody was getting it.
And Corbin Burns is the leading receiver, number 3. He has 14 receptions. Now, this is a run-heavy football team that tonight has to have balance in order to compete with this Lutheran ball club. There is 1:07 to go in the first quarter as the clock has stopped after the incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 9. Wagner at the helm, under center. Levi with the football, getting a rush, getting away, and he is going to go down, and he's sacked at about the 15-yard line. That is a huge loss.
Look, they elected to go to play action right there on 3rd and long, and it was a slow developing play because of that. And once Wagner turned around and tried to release the football, he had nowhere to go. There was 2 Saints all over him in the backfield.
McHaney for Lutheran with the sack. It'll be a huge 4th down upcoming.
Brings up 4th down.
And Jones will be back to return the punt. He stands at the Monrovia 40-yard line. Monrovia with their backs to the wall. There's a punt just got underway. Jones lets it fall. It's going to take a nice Bulldog roll.
Well, let me tell you, Mike, that looked precarious there for a second. High snap as he fielded it just inside the end zone. Looked like he was going to be lucky to get the kick away, and then he did, and got a gorgeous hop out to the 45 or maybe the 44 on the other side of the field, but really lucky there for Monrovia. That didn't sail over the punter's head.
Dale Sweet, the punter, number 81, had a good pair of hands on that one, and somehow he found a way to get it up in the air and got a nice roll. And now Jackson Willis will take that high-powered Lutheran offense. This year, Lutheran is averaging 480 yards of total offense per ball game.
Is that any good? I'm not sure. Is that good? Seems like that's good. I'm not 100% sure.
Wow, that is just unbelievable. Devon Jones has played extremely well in this first drive, number 4. He not only had the touchdown catch, but he had the pass for the 2-point conversion. 22, Joe Davis in the backfield with Jackson Willis. Willis back to pass, looking down the middle of the field, and is tipped and almost caught by Jones. Kendall was a defender. He got his hand in there right at the last minute.
Man, what a great defensive play there by Kendall. You know, when you watch a basketball game, they always tell you to lead with your outside hand, right? You don't want to come in from across. That's exactly what Kendall did there as a defensive back. Knocks it away with that left hand. If he would have tried to get that with his right hand, no way. That receiver is gone for 6.
Willis, 2nd down and 10. Davis on the pitch. Gets a block. Leg still churning and finally dropped. One of the tacklers was Joey Smith, number 1. Came into the ball game for Coach Olson's ball club with 32 stops. Monrovia showing some speed on the outside.
Yeah, Followell was in on that too. Followell was kind of the guy that really made him stretch it out, string it out, right, and let your other helpers, your other defenders kind of fly to the football.
That'll end the first period of play. It's Lutheran 8, Monrovia 6 on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Saints fan.
Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com.
Back at Lutheran, we start the second quarter. The Saints on top, 8-6. Lutheran and Dave Patch's ball club has a 3rd down and 10. And the quarterback, Jackson Willis, at the helm. 4-man front from Monrovia. They're finding some heat. There's the catch, is made, and that will be close to a 1st down. Wow. That was number 3, Josiah King. He's had 13 catches this year, and Thad, that might be a 1st down.
Yeah, that was a little bubble screen, just kind of give him some room and let him go, and then a flag came down right at the very end of the play. I didn't see it. I think from where we are, probably a face mask. Yeah, the PA is going to correct us. Yeah, it was definitely a face mask.
The football will be marked now on the Monrovia 40-yard line. Josiah King comes into the ball game not only with 13 catches but 1 touchdown. Remember, Jackson Willis now has 24 touchdowns on the season.
Ball at the 40-yard line.
Phenomenal effort by this young sophomore quarterback from the left side. Davis back to pass Willis, throws long to the right side, and it is just overthrown.
Willis's pass just beyond the fingertips.
So they've on this drive so far, and even on the last drive a little bit, they've kind of been working within, 5-6 yards of the line of scrimmage. That time, little play action, take a shot deep. Why not? 1st down in your own territory. Got an arm like that? Let it fly,
Brian Shelby was the intended receiver. He has 17 catches. Of those 17, Thad, 7 touchdowns this year for the Saints.
High percentage. I like that.
Out of the shotgun, Jackson Willis. Monrovia trying to take away the run. Willis, play action, throws right down the middle. This one is almost picked, and it's almost caught in the end zone and falls away incomplete. That was awfully close. Jackson Ferris was defending the pass play for the Bulldogs.
That one could have gone either way, and not to criticize the young man, but 83 was kind of running a post over here on the right sideline, and he was wide open. His defender had fallen down, and he missed it. Pardon me, I think it was 23, not 83, 23 for Lutheran.
23 is Micah McKay, the Saints' leading receiver. He has 33 receptions. Here's a blitz coming. Back to pass. He gets away. 40. He's going to take the ball, tuck it under, and he'll get close to the 30. It'll be short of a first down, but nice play by Jackson Willis running the football.
Malachi Bear on the hit, but a nice job there. Willis kind of, that time he's bootlegging kind of the opposite way for a lefty. Did a nice job. No reason to force it right there. So just tuck it, get the yardage that you can.
Willis with Davis in the backfield. That was Willis's 18th carry of the year. Came in the game with -3 yards. Bunch of sacks. Here's the offsides. Wow. Monrovia jumped. Corbin Burns, number 3 on the outside. I think he crossed the neutral zone, and that'll be a first down for the Saints.
Yeah, that's really unforced there by Monrovia. 4th and about 2 or 3. Not to say they wouldn't have converted that, but you can't just give them those free yards and get them another fresh set of downs.
Not to any team, let alone a team that's 6-0 with a 21-game win streak. As Jackson Willis steps on the field again, gets the play call from the sideline. 10:40 to go here in the half. Second period of play, Saints 8, Bulldogs 6. Willis, pass, down the middle, caught by his leading receiver, McKay. Micah McKay's 34th catch of the season, and we've got a Bulldog getting up, and that's Krzyzewski, the running back. Krzyzewski's going to come out of the ball game, shaking up a little bit.
And Willis is really talented, and he's really good, but you got to have a lot of confidence. And when you throw it to your receiver in traffic, he knows he's going to take a hit, and he's going to come down with it, right?
No doubt. McKay 6'2", 195. There are some mismatches on the field for the Saints. McKay's definitely has size. Not only that, but he's a sure-handed receiver. Now he's got 34 snatches for 8 touchdowns.
Look, big physical kid like that across the middle. In a lot of instances, he's going to have a mismatch out there, like you said. It's almost like a little bit of basketball style, where you see like those big tight ends in the NFL or in college. Get them one-on-one out there. Let them go make a play. Let them go rebound it.
It'll be first down and 10 for Lutheran. Inside the red zone, the football marked probably around the 13-yard line with 10 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the second period. And for Monrovia, it looks like the momentum has completely shifted to the Saints.
Hey, look, for the first 8 minutes of this game, it was all Monrovia, right? Took about 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Lutheran to match. They get a stop on defense. Now they're marching. Monrovia's defense has done a good job. They haven't given up the big play, right? Lutheran all season has been pretty electric. They've hit some big home run plays. They haven't allowed that, but at this point, now it's methodical, right? They're marching on you now, and that's really tiresome for a defense.
Jackson Willis out of the shotgun. He's back to pass, looking down to the right side. There's a flag in the play. The ball was caught, but there is a flag at about the 14-yard line. It may be coming back. Cabrian Shelby was the receiver, caught the ball in the end zone, but Thad, I think this is going to come back.
A little bit of a discussion here. And I wonder if it'll be offensive pass interference.
Nope. Sideline warning on the Saints, but they're going to give the touchdown to Shelby. Willis with his 25th touchdown of the season.
Big time throw, big time catch.
$14-6 now. And let's see if the Saints are going to try for the kick here for the extra point.
And see, this is so difficult to defend, Mike, the way that they line up.
Nick Miller, there's a penalty, 5-yarder on the Saints. And there's another sideline warning. That's why they dropped the second flag. They'll move the football back here. The extra point kicker traditionally for Lutheran has been 26 Nick Miller.
Illegal shift.
And Devon Jones, number 4, will hold the football at about the 15, so it'll be a 25-yard point after attempt for Miller.
Point after number 26, Nick Miller.
Solid hold by Jones. The kick looks good. It is. It's 15-6.
Drilled that one straight through.
And you're in your football team that won a state championship last year and has its sights set on winning another. You got to have good special teams.
It's like the secret weapon, right? Yep. If you're going to make a deep run, especially in the state tournament here, where at some point, knock on wood, probably going to face a little bit of weather, right, on one of those cold Friday nights, and that's where special teams comes in key. Make a couple extra points, maybe make a field goal, have some good punting, flip the field a little bit. That's where you can win. That's the secret yards, right? Secret yardage, as people call it.
Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes. And Genesis Sports Performance trains adults as well. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. The Saints, 15. Lutheran on top of Monrovia, 15-6 here in the second.
Hey, right now, if you're Monrovia, okay, and you've seen Lutheran go down and score 2 consecutive times, kind of big bounce back drive for you, right? A little bit of courage. You got to see what you got in your gut here. You need a drive. I know that they've got a lot of guys playing both ways, but the guys that are not, you got to give them a breather on the sideline. You got to put together, even if you don't score here, Mike, for Monrovia, you got to put together 2, 3, 4 first downs.
The kick is taken at about the 15-yard line. And not much yardage there for Jackson Ferris. And Jackson Ferris gets out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Again, special teams, we talked about it, spot on for Lutheran in this ball game here in the second period with exactly 10 minutes to play, up 15-6.
Yeah, I'm interested to see here what Monrovia elects to do. I wonder if they go back to what they did on that opening drive, right? Kind of keep it in between the tackles, control the line of scrimmage, control the clock. Again, even if you don't score here, you gotta bleed 5-6 minutes off the clock, get a couple of first downs.
Eli Wagner, the quarterback, takes the football under center with the I formation.
There is a flag on the play.
And there's a flag before the ball snapped. Somebody was lined up off sides, possibly. Or they're going to wave this one off, maybe. Nope, offsides on Lutheran.
Offsides. Saints.
One of the Saints.
Someone in the neutral zone there.
First and 5.
First down and 5 for Monrovia.
Ball at the 28-yard line.
The Bulldogs will start at the 28. And Eli Wagner. We talked about 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Everybody's in the box now. It's going to be really difficult to run the ball off the right side. He's got a couple yards.
Yeah, Mike, you read my mind. They didn't have anyone deeper than maybe 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage there. Everyone was up close.
Jake Aikens in on the stop.
They're going to get to the point here eventually where everyone's going to be at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to dare Wagner to put the ball in the air.
Josie Hand, the ball carrier. The good news is Hand got his pads down really low and got maybe an extra yard or 2. Gain of 3. It'll be second and short. That was first and 5. Again, you see 2 backs in the backfield for Wagner. Hand, I'm not sure, he may have gotten it. They're going to move the chains.
Just enough.
79 in on the stop for your Saints. Cameron McCaney.
McCaney, the freshman, in on the tackle again. I flicked like snow again. had some help, or Johnny Hall, number 16. And that'll be a first down with 9 minutes to go here in the second period for the Bulldogs. Burns in motion to the right. Wagner, Krzyzewski, right side. He's got a first down, and he goes out of bounds. Nice job, and we've got a shaken up Bulldog, not what Andy Olson and the Bulldogs wanted to see here. On the far sideline, a Bulldog getting up slowly. Not quite sure who that might be.
Hard to tell from our vantage point. It's like maybe 32.
That could be Josie Hand, no doubt about it. Slow to get up, but he walks off under his own power. Asher Clements, 37, checking the ball game. And looks like Monrovia is going to take a knee on the far side as we see now a Lutheran player injured on the far side of the field.
Looks like Gavin Mims. Gavin Mims.
Yeah, Mims is holding, looks like he's holding his right wrist. After Monrovia picked up 16 yards there. A nice run by Dustin Krzyzewski. And that'll be first down for Monrovia from their 46.
Another whistle.
And now one of the Saints comes out of the ball game, and that's Jacqueline Akins is bleeding on his elbow, and the officials sent him out of the ball game. And again, Thad, you've got 11 guys inside the box. Boy, if they can run a little play action, they're going to catch him off the right side. Not much of a gain. Got a block up there by one of the linemen, number 60 for Monrovia, and number 60 is Lane Whitney, sophomore, 6 foot, and he weighs 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's not a small individual. I want to point something out here, Mike, for the viewers. That's 3 consecutive runs that Monrovia's run off the right side of the line, and I think that maybe they feel like they found something over there, right? See if they kind of go back to that over and over and wear down that side of the defense behind those big offensive linemen.
Second down and about 8 for the Bulldogs. And the give to the second running back, number 7, Dustin Krzyzewski, and he hits a wave of Saints. He goes nowhere.
Stopped in the backfield and on the stop.
Yeah, just ate him up back there. Again, they went back to the right side, but they didn't give it to the first back through, right? They gave it to the second guy around, gave the Saints too much time to kind of navigate the blockers and make that hit.
Jacob Roberts, 62, credited with the tackle. Roberts comes into the ball game for Dave Patch's ball club with 16 tackles. But now it's third down for Monrovia, 3rd and long.
Yeah, and this is where the Bulldogs do not want to be offensively, right? They don't want to be at 3rd and long. They need to be at 3rd and manageable.
Ferris to the far side, 2 wings to the right. Back to pass, and he's going to be, no, he gets away, and down he goes. The ball gets out of his hands, but I think was going forward. Eli Wagner's hand was going forward. That's going to be an incomplete pass. Boy, is he fortunate, because the Saints had him wrapped up for a sack and potentially a strip sack there, but that'll be incomplete.
Yeah, Jacob Roberts, I think, in back there to make the hit initially for Lutheran, but Wagner was in all kinds of trouble back there, and lucky, Mike, that was ruled an incomplete pass.
And Jacob Roberts now, 62, one of the defensive linemen for Lutheran, hobbles off the field, getting some attention on the sideline by the trainer, but Monrovia is going to go for a first down here. It appears from their own 48-yard line, 4th and about 7. And we've got ourselves a timeout here. This game tonight, a battle on the ground. Monrovia trying to hang in there. They're down 15-6 here in the second period of play with about 6 minutes and 53 seconds to go. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779, and by Genesis Sports Performance Training. They train Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit GenesisSportsPerformance.com. Right now, Thad, Monrovia either needs to get a first down or punt and flip the field. They're down 15-6.
Yeah, interesting position here if you're Coach Olson. You're 4th and 7, let's call it, just on this half of midfield. You go for it, you don't get it. I mean, you're giving Lutheran a great opportunity to go up 2 scores. I think, if I was Coach Olson, elect to punt here, just based on the down and distance and what your passing attack has looked like so far this evening.
Remember, the last punt Monrovia tried, Dale Sweet, the punter, had to jump up and grab the football. It was a bad snap, but he got it away, and it was a pretty good punt, had a nice roll. And right now, it looks like the offense is going to stay out there. Eli Wagner, the quarterback, number 11, is out on the field.
All right, Riverboat Andy, let's go. See what happens, right?
4th down, 7 yards. Monrovia has a long way to go. Maybe a pooch kick for Wagner. Burns in motion to the right side. Last time he had plenty of rush. There he goes again. He's hammered. He got it again from the backside. A sack for the Saints. That's a big sack for Lutheran.
Jack Beard there for Lutheran, Mike. Came around that end, untouched basically, and drilled the quarterback Wagner from Monrovia. Look, hey, they were going to go for it, right? He was back to pass. He was all dropped back, and he had absolutely no time. Beard all over his blind side.
Jack Beard, number 58, with a sack at the Saints 40. First down for Lutheran in the second period, on top 15-6. They've got the momentum. Willis, screen, Davis, 40. Got isolation, 30, inbounds. It'll be a first down. Willis, make that Willis to Davis. Jackson Willis to Joe Davis. And Joe Davis, just his 5th reception, but boy, he's got speed.
Yeah. We talked about how Monrovia wants to keep it in between the tackles a lot. Lutheran, hey, let's get our guys out in some space. Let's let them run. Let's let them make some moves, right?
You bet. And they were able to do that. That's a first down for the Saints. Jackson Willis looks to the right. Again, the pass is caught. That's another touchdown. What a catch there on the far side. That was Josiah King with a touchdown. Josiah King, 21-6. What a catch. And what a pass by Jackson Willis, his 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
Mike, was that Jackson Willis or was that Matt Leinart circa 2003 from USC? I mean, he put that right on his hands. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Here's a gadget play. Toss. Touchdown. That's 2. That's 2 points for Lutheran. Jones, a little gadget play on the right side, and the catch was made by Akins, number 27, for 2 points. It's 23-6.
Yeah, we talked about momentum early. That momentum's all with the Saints now, Mike.
Boy, it flipped really quickly here in the first period. We didn't mention it, but our officiating crew tonight, they're seeing a lot of points now for Lutheran in the first half as the Saints lead 23-6. Rudy Combs is our referee. Mike Walterman, the umpire. Richard Day, the back judge. Ted Donner, the line judge and crew chief. And Don Helmick is the lineman. And right now, with 6 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the second period, Lutheran is in total command.
Yeah, we talked the last time after when they were kicking off to Monrovia, like, hey, we need to get a couple of first downs. You got to control the clock, keep Lutheran on the sidelines. Well, Lutheran is scoring so quickly now, Mike, that you're not even able to catch your breath if you're the Monrovia Bulldogs. They got to put something together, but I am extremely impressed with Jackson Willis. This is the first time I've got to see him live and in person this season, and it is very impressive what he's doing.
He is outstanding, and you've got to put pressure on him. They're not being able to do that tonight as Dax Locklear will kick off for Cecina. Make that Lutheran. I said Cecina. Here's the catch by Ferris at the 18. And finally sidesteps a a Saints tackler and runs out of bounds. 33, Braden Hall was the guy that ran him out of bounds. But not before Monrovia gets the football. They'll start about the 26, but 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and Lutheran has really turned the ball game around.
Yeah, and you know what they secretly have done? High-powered, explosive offense. They're up and down. Defense is really locked down here in the second quarter, right? The possessions for Monrovia have been short. They're not gaining the yards they got on that first drive. We talked about it on the last drive. They're putting all 11 guys up within 8, 9, 10 yards of the box, and they're bringing the heat every time in the backfield. Wagner's got no chance to throw the football.
This is Wagner. Fumble the ball. Fumble the ball. Let's see who recovered it. Eli Wagner, the quarterback, may have recovered the football.
Eli Wagner, the quarterback, recovered that fumble.
It'll be second and long.
And this is just what we talked about, Mike. He's feeling that pressure now as a quarterback. You know, he's a little jittery right now. Took a big hit on that last possession to close out that offensive drive for them. And, you know, for Monrovia, they got to find something consistent. They had some runs off the right side. It felt like they had a little bit of positive mojo out there on the right side of the offensive line. They got to try to rekindle that flame, if you will.
Big Adam Nemedov, number 79, is the right guard. He's 6'5", about 300 pounds. This is a big Monrovia offensive line as they run off the right side. Just a couple yards. It looked like Josie Hand there.
Jack Bearden on the stop.
Third down. And, boy, they wasted it down there with that fumble. That'll really cause problems here. They're way behind the chains.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Mike. Third and long is just not where Monrovia is comfortable. And we've seen Wagner when he doesn't have the time to drop back 3 or 5 steps because those defensive linemen are getting around and they're putting too much heat on him.
Speaking of defensive linemen, Gavin Mims, number 67, is checked back in the lineup for Lutheran. That's a good sign.
That's good to see. Great to see.
Yeah, because he came out of the ball game. He's back in there playing on the right side. Eli Wagner, the running back in motion, is 7, Krzyzewski. Wagner back to pass, throws to the right side, and this one's picked. It's picked off. It's picked off at about the 35-yard line. Another interception for Lutheran. This ball club has been pretty opportunistic throughout the course of the season. That's why they're 6-0, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, C.J. Irvin there making plays in the defensive backfield. And it's going to be – there was a flag holding against the Bulldogs. I believe that Lutheran will decline it here. But a great play there by Irvin. He was step for step with the receiver. They had 3 guys really back there. Wagner was going to have to try to thread the needle. He put a good ball into the air, but Irvin made the play.
So the pick is made, and it's first down and 10 for Lutheran. It'll be the Saints football at about the 36-yard line.
And really, Mike, almost in all intents and purposes, that's the same as a punt, really, if you're Monrovia.
First and 10, ball spotted at the 36-yard line.
I would say that if it was a closer ball game, a punt would have been appropriate, but at this point, Monrovia needs points. Down 23-6. This could be a drive that will put them out of the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take a shot if you're Monrovia right there. You got to put it into the air. Like I said, Wagner put a good ball into the air on that one. Irvin just made a better play.
Willis, Davis in motion. Willis looking, breaks a tackle, gets away. He's going to get positive yardage and runs out of bounds. He stops the clock. He felt the heat by Corbin Burns, got away from him, and he makes positive yardage out of that one.
Kind of just slid out of that tackle and made a play with his legs. I know we talked about Willis. We've talked about his arm strength, talked about how good he is. What we've really failed to talk about, Mike, is as a sophomore, he's 6'2", 182. He's no small individual back there for a young man.
Willis takes a snap. The flags are thrown.
Flag on the play.
Probably Saints jumping offside.
I would guess against the offense here. Yeah, 5 yards back.
Looked like Micah McKay might have jumped offsides, number 23.
And at this point, all that really does is give Jackson Willis another opportunity to gain 5 extra yards through the air, right?
4 minutes and 34 seconds to go. Before halftime, Nick Hinojosa will be our halftime guest, the second-year basketball coach at Monrovia. Here's a snap. Willis looking for McKay. Has him wide open. 35. He can walk into the end zone from here. 10-5 touchdown. Willis to McKay. Saints on the board. 29-6.
Home run hitters, Mike. Home run hitters. Another one straight up the seam there. Willis hits him right in stride. He's probably going to look back at that film and he's going to say, you know, I could have put a better ball out there for him. Doesn't really matter. 6 more points for the Saints.
29-6. Nick Miller out for the potential extra point, but I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to snap the football here to Jones. Jones runs the option, takes it himself to the goal line. I think he got it. He did. 2 points. 31-6. Very creative. Extra points for the Saints and Coach Dave Pash.
I just need like a film study on the 2-point conversions at this point, Mike. I'm so intrigued by the formation, how they're scoring multiple times in multiple ways off of it. It's really brilliant. But no, in all honesty, that's 31 consecutive points for Lutheran. 31 in a row in basically a little over 12 minutes of real-life game action. So in 1 quarter of play, in 12 minutes of play, 31 points on the scoreboard. Very, very impressive from the Saints. And I don't want to give all the credit to the offense either, Mike. After that opening drive, the Saints defense has been incredibly active. We've seen them get in the backfield. They've hit Wagner, the quarterback from Monrovia. And then we saw an interception on the last drive. They're making plays all across the field, offense and defense.
No doubt about that. The Saints are dominating up 31-6. Our game tonight is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. And Thad, I tell you, Lutheran, as you mentioned, just dominating both ends of the football.
Well, look, we knew that they were going to be impressive, right? 21 consecutive wins, number 1 in the state, defending state champions. All of that goes into it. But you're playing a familiar foe in Monrovia. You know, there's really no huge secrets between these guys as far as being conference opponents. And to come in, you know, week after week, Friday night after Friday night, and put on the performances that they do as high school kids is incredibly impressive.
And a great run thus far for Coach Pash. Kendall was the guy that returned from Monrovia. He returns it to the 27. And not only are they producing offensively and defensively, but their special teams have been special. And they're up 31-6. Lutheran 31, Monrovia 6. The Bulldogs out of the football. Eli Wagner back on the field. Wagner, the give to his running back. Krzyzewski goes nowhere. Dustin Krzyzewski. He gets maybe a half yard.
Jack Beard, Spencer
I'm going to give him a yard. I'm going to give him a full yard on that one. But let's turn this around to Monrovia here real quick. For the offense to come out here on this drive, if you're Coach Olson, it's got to be more like, hey, guys, let's focus on this one drive. Let's not worry about the scoreboard right now. We know that they've scored 31 straight, right? Let's focus on this drive. Let's execute on this one drive offensively and see what we can do.
Beard and Bauer are credited with the tackle for Lutheran. Second down for Monrovia. Eli Wagner again. Wagner. Counter play on the right side at 7. Dustin Krzyzewski. And I think he only got about 4 yards that time. Again, it shows the speed of Lutheran. They can really run the football and get to the edge quickly.
Yeah, you know, the 1 or 2 times that we've seen Monrovia really get past that first line of defense, that second level, those linebackers are incredibly active.
Number 4, Devon Jones. It's been all over the field on both sides of the football tonight for Coach Pash's ball club.
He seems like a nice guy to have on your squad, Mike. You know, you were doing like a high school fantasy draft or something like that, I'd probably pick that guy up, you know?
I'd take Jackson Willis, number 1. Jackson Willis, the quarterback for the Saints, has lit up the scoreboard tonight. This club leads 31-6. Looks like Kendall carried off the right side and a first down.
Really nice. You know, it kind of goes off of the left A gap, if you will, cuts it back to the right, saw a little bit of a seam. Really nice job up front on that possession, that snap there from Monrovia.
73, Dylan Duncan, 5'11", 255-pound junior. For Lutheran. Lutheran has developed a lot of depth right now, and that's what you're going to need to have as far as being able to make a run in this tournament. Here's a run off the right side, and that defense is stout. You also got to stop the run.
Yeah. You know, Coach Pash talked about the one unfortunate thing they've had this year is they've only had their starters play 2 complete games because of the running clock. But on the side of that, you know, the flip side of that is they've gotten to play so many of their younger guys, their JV guys. Those guys are playing more quarters at the varsity level than they've really ever played before. So for Lutheran, it's kind of a, you know, is it good? Is it bad? You're really, really increasing your depth. I think more so for Coach Pash, he's maybe a little bit worried getting to a tight game later in the season, and maybe your guys are not up to condition, if you will, to play a full 48.
Lane Whitney, the offensive lineman we had mentioned earlier, number 60 for Monrovia, is the injured Bulldog. Let's hope that it's just a cramp as he's being helped out here by the trainer for the Bulldogs. Monrovia down 31-6 here in the second period, and Lutheran has really been impressive.
And a good sign there is Whitney's going to walk off the field under his own power. Maybe looks like a lower leg injury potentially. Don't want to be too hypothetical up here, but no, Mike, to answer your question, I mean, you know, we haven't even played a full half of football. They've scored 31 consecutive points after that opening drive from Monrovia. Incredibly impressive stuff.
The other thing that's interesting to me is that the game has changed so much that now you've got to have balance to win at Class A, 2A, 3A. Years ago, you could run the football and just rely on, you know, your physical strength. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, 100%, Mike. You know, that really trickled down. It started at the higher levels, you know, what used to be only 5A, but now 5 and 6A, and it's really come down. I think it's a big attribute, too, to the increase in all of these programs, the way that they've done their off-season workouts, their weight training, just the athletic skill level that are at these kids. And another thing, Mike, is the way that 7-on-7 has helped a lot of these smaller school quarterbacks. You know, it's kind of opened the field up. It's opened their eyes up to the passing game more than it did, you know, 10, 15 years ago. Josie
Hand was the ball carrier there from Monrovia. There was no gain, and they just absolutely attacked the line of scrimmage there. Nate Lohman, number 51, he's 6'3", 225 pounds. Speaking of 7-7, I don't know over the years seeing any high school football team that can defend the pass. It's almost impossible.
I mean, really, the true way in high school to defend the pass is get pressure on the quarterback, right? I mean, that's really it. If you're front 4 guys or front 3, if you're playing a 3-4, but most high school teams are going to play, you know, a 4-3 or maybe a 4-2 in that front level. If you can get pressure on the quarterback with those front 4 guys, then you've got a shot. But if it's one-on-one out on the perimeter, a lot of times the offensive guy is going to win, as long as you can put the ball where he needs to catch it.
Well, you got to win the football game in the trenches, and tonight the trenches have been won by Lutheran, both defensively and offensively. Now it's 3rd down and long for Eli Wagner. He has been behind the chains the entire ball game with the exception of the first drive. Krzyzewski in motion. Wagner back to pass. Looking deep. He's getting pressure. Flag is thrown. He's dropped there. Beard is one of the guys. Mims is another tackler with the sack behind the line of scrimmage, but a flag was thrown at about the 37-yard line of Monrovia.
Let's wait and see.
And that time Wagner did have a little bit of time, but then in the back side, he had nowhere to get rid of the football to. No one was open, and then the pressure finally came and swallowed him up.
That one will be declined, a hold on Monrovia. So I'm assuming Dave Pash will decline the penalty and take the football over. They'll take the sack, a huge sack there. Although that will force fourth down now. My bad. I thought that was fourth down. It was actually third and long. So it'll be fourth down now and long.
Yeah, and this is fourth and incredibly long.
Once again, in the ball game to do the punting is Dale Sweet. Number 4 for Lutheran, Devon Jones, is a lone returner.
I was trying to think of my directions. You know, that was like 4th and Washington Street, Mike.
The snap, again, good hands by Sweet. This one's blocked. It's blocked. It is picked up by number 51. That is a touchdown for Nate Lohman. Touchdown, Nate Lohman, 37-6.
You talked about it a little bit earlier. We talked about it. Special teams. Right there again, doing the trick for Lutheran. We've seen the offense step up. We've seen the defense step up. How about special teams points for the Saints? Everything clicking right now for Lutheran.
Nate Lohman picked up the football after he scored a touchdown, threw it up in the air, and the officials have flagged him. I think that'll be an unsportsmanlike call on Lutheran. That's exactly what it's going to be. That'll march the football back 15 yards on the extra point.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Back things up 15.
And they've got to be able to mark this one off. They haven't been able to do this quite yet. Miller's still out there, number 26, to kick the extra point. I'm not quite sure why they're not moving the football, Thad.
Unless it's going to be assessed on the kickoff is the only thing I can assume from up here.
That could be. As Miller sets up, number 26, Nick Miller, 5'7", 130-pound senior. Jones holds the kick. It's a nice one. It's good.
And Miller's looked smooth on these point-after attempts.
38-6. 38-6. Tonight's game, built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. Tonight's game also brought to you by Genesis Sports Performance. Training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes in adult strength training. Visit GenesisSportsPerformance.com. Lutheran 38, Monrovia 6, Thad Van Evener, 1:32 to go. And for Monrovia, you get a good return. Just try to do whatever you can to keep your kids' heads up as they head into halftime.
Yeah, you got to try to level set here before the break, right? 90 seconds, really goal number one. Let's keep possession until halftime, right? And let's not give it back to them before the break. Let's take it a first down at a time. You always hear about, day to day, game to game. Let's go first down to first down right here if you're in Monrovia. And then it does look like they're going to assess the penalty here on the kickoff on the unsportsmanlike. But, really for Monrovia right now, it's like, hey, let's keep possession of the football until we get to halftime.
Well, they might have good field position here with that 15-yard penalty. Dax Locklear, the freshman, will kick off from his own 25 as the Bulldogs move up about 10 yards. Locklear, freshman. A lot of youngsters playing for both ball clubs at tonight's football game. Last year, Lutheran 36, Monrovia 12. This one dropped at the 27. Josie Hand. Josie breaks one tackle, and he's up near the 34-yard line, and that'll stop the clock with 1:25.
Yeah, pretty good return after kind of a miscue on the reception there on the receiving end of that. But, Hand making the most of what he can right there. He's been really active. We haven't talked about him enough. Hand's a solid player for Monrovia.
Playing hectically hard on both ends of the field. Defense and offense, as Monrovia, I think, is a little bit shorthanded in tonight's football game. Their leading ground gainer is out of the ball game. Brayton Belcher had over 500 yards rushing. He's injured. He's not in the lineup tonight. But Josie has done a really nice job carrying the pigskin for Andy Olson's Bulldogs. And this is Hand. and he's hammered. I mean, he is absolutely hammered. Brian Shelby, number 5, who plays both sides of the football, was able to get him after maybe a yard.
And this time they take it off the left. We haven't seen that a ton, really off tackle to the left from Monrovia so far tonight. Pretty good move there for them.
Timeout on the field. 38-6 Lutheran over Monrovia just before halftime. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance Training. Training Indianapolis area grade high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com. Andy Olson in his second year at Monrovia. Dave Pash has done a fantastic job. Dave of Brownsburg. Andy, I learned, was an assistant at Harrison High School. Now head coach Terry Peebles, Class 5A. Terry Peebles took a winless Harrison Raider program, and he's made them competitive. His brother, by the way, is Bill Peebles, the head football coach at Cathedral High School.
You know, you and I, back in the day, we've done some Harrison games. No, but, sometimes it's building blocks for a program, right? Monrovia historically has had a ton of success, at the 2A level. Now they're at the 3A level. A couple of state championship game runs for the Bulldogs over the years. One of those with our buddy Mark Janes at the helm when he was the head coach there. So it's a football community in Monrovia, but so they're not completely starting over, but it's a building process for Coach Olson.
Levi Wagner. He gives to Kashevsky. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Timeout is being called on the field by Lutheran. Lutheran wants a timeout with 1:12 to go, up 38-6 in this ball game.
We talked about if you're Monrovia, one of your goals on this possession is retain possession until we get to halftime. And the Saints are like, hey, we want to get that football back before we go to the break and have one more opportunity to score before halftime.
Talked about Andy Olson. What I like about him is the fact he never gave up. He's interviewed for the Monrovia coaching job a couple of times. Brian Lewis, then athletic director at Monrovia, now an assistant commissioner with the IHSAA, said to Andy, hey, you need to be a coordinator to be a head football coach. He was able to do that. He went to Lebanon. He coached for the Tigers for 2 years. He came back to Monrovia as assistant, and then the opening occurred. Coach Akers left. And now Andy Olson is running this ball club, and I've been told by, as you mentioned, our good friend Mark Janes. Thank you, Mark, for some insight on this ball club, because Andy Olson, Mark talks about, is there at every athletic event at Monrovia. And when you're at a small school like Monrovia, Class 2A school, you've got to do that. You've got to do that not only for community, but also sets a great example for your kids.
Look, the same thing at Lutheran is the same thing at Monrovia. You're going to have kids that are playing multiple sports. So you got to be there to back them all the time, because they're going to go from football, they're going to go play basketball, they're going to play baseball in the spring, or they're going to run track or whatever it is. You got to be there to support those guys. Let them know, this is a family atmosphere here within the athletic department.
Wagner, the quarterback, burns in motion to the right. Eli Wagner. Kashevsky getting run down by Mims. And there is a flag on the play. Another flag is thrown. Gavin Mims, nobody blocked him. He shot right through and grabbed that running back behind the line of scrimmage.
Couple of flags on the field, one near the 40, but the other one came in late. I would guess the late one might have been a face mask on the tackle, but the one here towards the 40, I'm not sure. It might have been a hold.
And this is going to offset.
Offsetting penalties.
Hold.
We have holding and a face mask.
And the face mask. And we'll start it all over again. And once again, the clock has been frozen at 1:06 with a 32-point lead. Now, there is a running clock after 35. So Lutheran scores again. We're going to see a running clock. Monrovia comes up to the line of scrimmage with the clock running.
And let's see if they try to put it in the air here with Wagner.
Third down for Eli. Burns in motion once again for Monrovia. Kashevsky right side. Got some positive yardage. Goes forward at a first down.
Really, really nice job on the right side again for Monrovia. That's where they've had the most success tonight, is running off of that right side of the offensive line in a really big third down conversion there for the Bulldogs.
And the clock runs at 35 seconds and counting here in the second period. 38-6 Lutheran over Monrovia. Wagner around is, I believe that's 37 for the Bulldogs. Clements, Asher Clements gets a couple yards, and Mims was the guy that made the tackle. This time, Monrovia calls timeout.
Yeah, timeout there by the Bulldogs. And, Mims is a guy, we've called his name and number a lot here in the first half. Very active up front on the D-line for Lutheran. And I'm a little bit surprised about Monrovia calling a timeout there with under 30 seconds to play here in the half. Maybe they're going to try to take a shot here before halftime.
Roberts comes back in the ball game here for Mims. Mims checking out of the ball game, and defensively that front for Lutheran has really done a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier about just in the passing game in general, trying to get pressure in the backfield on a quarterback. But the beautiful thing about Lutheran is that front four on the D-line does such a nice job up front. Even if they're not getting all the way into the backfield, they're upholding their guy on the line and allowing those guys, those linebackers, to be super active. Just run to the ball, right? Go make a play, linebacker. You're quick, you're athletic, go make a hit. We've seen Hall, we've seen Bauer all over the field making hits. But Mims tonight so far on the defensive line for Lutheran, I've been very impressed with Mims.
Well, the question is, who is in Lutheran sectional? Class A sectional 47. You got South Putnam, Riverton Park, Covenant Christian, Park Heritage, North Central, and Cloverdale. And right now, South Putnam, best record 5-1. Riverton Park 4-2. Covenant Christian 3-3. Covenant Christian had a nice ball game last week with Heritage Christian before they fell. Second down and short. Make that second and long. 2nd and 7 for Monrovia. 17 seconds to go in the quarter. Wagner, naked bootleg, left side, 50, 40, out of bounds at the 34-yard line. There's still clock, 9 seconds.
You did a great job of getting around the defensive end there for Lutheran, which is Cam Patterson. I thought Patterson had a direct line to Wagner and a nice job of Wagner to kind of evade him, kind of circle back, and then it was wide open, as you said. Naked bootleg basically here on the left side. 9 seconds left. In theory, you could get 2 snaps off, but let's see if they just try to go deep to the end zone here.
Eli Wagner under center. Back to pass. He's getting a big rush. Throws down the right side. He's got his man on the right side and knocked out of bounds. Jackson Ferris knocked out of bounds inside the 5. That's a first down for Monrovia with 3 seconds to go.
Big time throw there from Wagner. He's been under duress. He's a ton of pressure in his face, and the young man just stands in there and throws an absolute dime to his wide receiver down the right sideline.
3 seconds left to go in this quarter. 38-6, the Bulldogs marching. They do not want a running clock, do they, Thad?
They do not. They got a chance here right before the break to get some points on the board. Now, again, you've only probably got time for 1 snap here, so do the Bulldogs keep it on the ground or they put it in the air here from the 5?
Well, run that naked bootleg once again. Eli Wagner has some legs. He can run the football. Eli Wagner this season has run the football 40 times for 81 yards. He does have 6 touchdowns. He has the legs to run the football. He has the nose for it as well.
Yeah, one option here that we haven't seen from Monrovia tonight, except for the 2-point conversion attempt, is to try to get Wagner out of the pocket, rolling, give him the option, right? Roll some receivers with him. He can either throw or he can try to run it in himself. That might be the way the Bulldogs like to go here.
Tonight's game built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. Second quarter score, just 3 seconds left. Timeout on the field. Lutheran 38, Monrovia 6. And for Monrovia and Andy Olson, he wants his team to improve each week. This is a sign of that. A nice toss by Eli Wagner to Ferris on the right side all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, big opportunity here for the Bulldogs just to show some guts early in this game, right? Let's put some points back on the board. You know, we're not just here to hang out and drive back to Monrovia. You know, let's compete a little bit, show a little bit of that competitive drive.
Eli Wagner will take the football under center here against the Lutheran front with 3 seconds remaining, down 38-6 here in the second period. Remember, a 35-point differential means running clock. They do not want that. Monrovia with the football. In motion, Josie Hand to the right side. Toss sweep. Krzyzewski fumbled the football, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. A great stop by the Saints, and I think the Saints may have picked up the football on the fumble as this ends the second quarter of play.
That time Monrovia tried to overload the formation to the right and then pitch it back to the left and get him out on the edge one-on-one. They couldn't connect on the pitch, and they come up empty-handed before the break.
Unfortunate situation for the Monrovia Bulldogs, but we've got ourselves a halftime. It's Lutheran 38 and Monrovia 6. You've been watching high school football on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779. Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
It's halftime at Lutheran. The Saints 38, the Monrovia Bulldogs 6. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit GenesisSportsPerformance.com. At halftime with Lutheran up 38-6 over Monrovia, our halftime guest is Nick Hinojosa, the second-year head basketball coach in Monrovia. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's talk about your basketball team. You open up their season with Eminence. Talk a little bit about your club and what your expectations are.
Next year we're going to be new again. A lot of new faces. We graduated 6 seniors. A lot of guys getting acclimated with roles again. It's almost a whole start-over process. And every year, every team's new. But this one, again, is going to be especially new with 6 new guys that are kind of filling roles. We got one returner, Tucker Rand. He's a tough kid. He can score the basketball with the best of them. Great shooter. At one point, he was shooting 45% from 3 last year. He's our returning varsity kid. But, we're going to be young, We're going to be active.
Somebody lost some cash
I'm
money
excited
in the
about the
men's
team
room.
and what they're going to look
Please
like.
stop to the
I've said it a couple times this summer. You know, we might not be as talented or as we were on paper last year.
Check
With
your
a,
pockets,
I mean, it's
lose
tough to replace a
cash.
6'8" kid, but I think with another year of us kind of going through the process of understanding what the vision is or what the execution looks like and hearing what I'm asking them, I think that we're going to be in a better spot this year.
The IHSAA has made some adjustments as far as sectional play here. As our halftime guest is Nick Hinojosa, the second-year head basketball coach at Monrovia. Last year you played at Frankfort in Case Arena, a huge 5,700-seat arena. This year you get moved to sectional 25 in Class 3A with a whole host of Sagamore Athletic Conference teams. Crawfordsville, Danville, Lebanon, Tri-West, Western Boone. What do you do?
You know, we study a lot of Sagamore Conference games. That's what we're going to do. It's an honorary Sagamore Conference tournament. It's a lot of teams that we've seen before. I mean, Danville and Tri-West were in the sectional last year, as well as Crawfordsville. Teams that I've seen before. Western Boone was at when I was at Cascade. We played them every year, so I'm pretty familiar with them as well. Lebanon would be the new scout for me, but I was kind of looking at them last year, anyways. They're really good. They run a pretty good program up there, and constantly competitive. It's going to be a really tough sectional. A lot of good teams, wide open in my opinion. I'm looking forward to seeing some new teams, not having to travel an hour and 15, an hour and a half up to Frankfort. As great as Case Arena was, that was a tough bus ride to get up there on a Tuesday afternoon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really competitive sectional. I'm excited to see where my kids stack up.
Nick Hinojosa is our halftime guest, the second-year basketball coach at Monrovia. You know, history and the present really links together quite nicely at Monrovia. I don't know if you thought about this. Number one, this ball club has won 7 sectionals and 2 regionals, but it's known to be the home of Branch McCracken, who for many years was a great basketball coach at Indiana University.
Absolutely.
And I know the fact that you're also a Hoosier. You went to IU. So talk a little bit about your experience at Indiana.
My experience at Indiana, where I became an adult, that was great. Great times down there. I lived in Eigenman my freshman year. I was a director on the student athletic board. I was the director of volleyball and men's tennis. Great experiences all over the board. Went to every game. Unfortunately, the last year, I think, was when Korean had his 6-win team. That wasn't the greatest to go to every single game, but it was still a cool environment. I think they beat Minnesota that year. It was an awesome environment. The campus is beautiful. I don't know, just so many memories, so many people. That was the cool part about being down there. It's not so much as what I learned as much as I grew as a person and kind of got outside my comfort zone, meeting new people from different areas, and I don't know, finding myself. And
certainly that is a plus, as you're the basketball coach in Monrovia. Yep. And I got to tell you, you would look great, and you probably did with a red coat. And I would say this, what you don't know and what the viewers don't know either is that I once was the advisor for Student Athletic Board.
That's amazing.
I was a Student Athletic Board advisor for 5 years, and those young men and women do a tremendous job at the university. There were over 1,000 of them. It was the largest student organization on campus, chaired by directors, chairmen, and great membership.
It was, that's one of the I'd say most influential things that I encountered when I was down there. It really just helped me figure out my path and what I wanted to do.
Nick, when you talk about Monrovia basketball, talk about what you want to be known for. When I think about Monrovia basketball, what's going to go through my mind?
Resilience. We're fighters. We're tough. We don't back down. We're going to show up every single day, and we're going to do the things that nobody else wants to do. We'll do 6 a.m. practices. We'll stay until 8 o'clock at night. We'll work on our weekend ball handling 17 times in a day if we have to. We'll do everything that I feel like normal kids don't want to do. That's the type of kid that really comes through our program. And I think we've really set a good foundation of that last year, and we're continuing to build off of it. I'm really excited about the group that we have coming in this year. and how they're going to represent that expectation or that image in your head every single play, every single game, every single day of practice.
Nick Thad Van Evener, our broadcaster for tonight's game on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com, talked about the fact that as a coach at a smaller school, it's important for you to be everywhere, to show, leadership as far as your kids are concerned, to be part of the community. Talk a little bit about that, because I understand you're the events coordinator at Monrovia High School. What do you do as an events coordinator?
I come to games to support my kids. Honestly, it was a no-brainer for me. It is what Thad said is spot on, and I actually echoed it over there while I was standing, and that's couldn't be more true. You have to show up every single day and support your kids and whatever it is that they're doing. I'm also a special education teacher. It's one of my favorite things to show up to these events or whatever they're doing outside of school and just show them that you're supporting them. I think today young kids don't have enough of that in their lives. People that show up every single day that are cheerleading them on, really. Being a positive role model and just showing them you care. I think that's incredibly important, and it's something that I model myself constantly. So again, the events coordinator, kind of tying it all together, was a no-brainer for me. I come to games and I make sure everything's kind of going smoothly. Set up, tear down, whatever it is that kind of calls for the day. Sometimes it's a little more crowd control than others. Like next Friday will probably be a little more crowd control than others. But I don't know. It's more just being here and making sure everything goes smoothly, like I said. And I'm gonna do it anyways, so I might as well, have an established position, I guess, if you will. It was a no-brainer for me. Absolutely.
Well, we really appreciate you being here on the air with us on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see your Monrovia Bulldogs play this year. Best of luck to you this upcoming season. Thanks for coming on, and really appreciate the help from Mark Janes of being able to suggest for you to come on the air tonight.
That guy is all-star people right there. Can't say enough about that man. He is very helpful in everything that he does, and especially promoting our kids in Monrovia. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Best of luck to you. That was Nick Hinojosa, the second-year head basketball coach at Monrovia High School. When we return, you'll watch more Indiana high school sports, and I believe that Thad Van Evener will have some scores. And if you need some scores, check out our website at IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
I bought a 2020 Kia Telluride. It's amazing. I love how spacious it is. I can fit all of my children in there as well as all of my signs for my job. The customer experience here is top-notch. They are super quick, get me in, whether it's an oil change or anything else, and make sure that I am well taken care of.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
We are back at Lutheran High School here at halftime. It's 38 Lutheran, Monrovia 6. The number 1 rated Class A Lutheran Saints with a 21-game winning streak on the line here. And it looks like they're going to add another victory here this evening at home with about a minute left before halftime. Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universal.com or call 317-257-0779. Tonight's game also brought to you by Genesis Sports Performance Training. They train Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes in adult strength training. Visit genesissportsperformance.com, and you can take a look at some of these scores throughout the website. They're live scores. It's awfully nice to take a look at throughout the state of Indiana. But tonight, Thad Van Evener, Lutheran 38. And Monrovia 6, and just outstanding play, particularly the quarterback slot. Jackson Willis was phenomenal.
Look, I don't want to overkill this at all, Mike, but Jackson Willis is incredibly impressive. Like I mentioned before in the first half, this is the first time I've seen him in person. I've just been tracking him through, a lot of newspaper, a lot of huddle highlights, different things like that. First time I've seen him in person to see how he is, and I'm going to go away incredibly impressed with his skill level, the way he runs the offense. Just Lutheran's offense in general just has a nice tempo to it, right? A nice feel. And Jackson Willis is pulling all the right strings, all the right numbers over there. And you can't say enough about the whole unit. The offensive line is great up front, giving him plenty of time to block. The receivers, he's putting the ball where they can go make some plays after the catch, right? Yards after the catch, get a bunch of yak in there, as they always say. But really, really impressive from Jackson Willis overall.
Devon Jones has been outstanding as a receiver, number 4, along with Micah McKay. Those two guys, along with Brian Shelby, are really dynamite. And Josiah King came up with a big catch. So not only is Jackson Willis a tremendous passer, he's got really good group of receivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a recipe for success, right? You've got a guy with a big arm who can really thread the needle. He reads defenses well, and then he's got 3 or 4 playmakers out there where he can get them the ball. Like we talked about earlier, sometimes it's just getting them the ball in space and letting them make the play. We've seen a couple of times where he's thrown the ball down the field, down the seam, and hit receivers in stride. A gorgeous pass in the first half where he hit his receiver going down the left side of the formation where he thread the needle right over the defensive back's hand for the touchdown. So, I mean, he's got all the throws, he's got all the skills, but, man, it helps when you got 3 or 4 guys that can go make a play for you.
Last week we saw Ron Colley defeat Brebeuf 31-14, and I saw Eric Moyers lead Ron Colley to victory. And they're very similar to Lutheran in that the percentage of pass to run is a little bit different. Ron Colley likes to run the football more, but I tell you what, Lutheran can run the ball too. Joe Davis with 741 yards coming into the game. He's no slouch with 13 touchdowns.
Hey, if you're going to try to play back and play 5 defensive backs and, and try to match up with them, hey, we'll just run it right at you, right? The offensive line's good enough to do that. They're physical. They're athletic. This is kind of what we were talking about before, just like the maturation of some of these smaller school programs. The off-season workouts, the 7-on-7s, and for the offensive linemen, they're much more athletic than they used to be. right? It's not just ground and pound anymore. You got to be a little bit more physical, a little bit more quick, and the Lutheran Saints have shown that they're able to do that on the offensive line.
It's interesting when you look at championship teams, they're all kind of developed the same way. They've got outstanding quarterbacks. They're really good in the trenches. And then defensively, they're sound, and they've got great skill players. And frankly, when I look at Roncalli last week, who's a Class 4A team, the difference between them and 1A Lutheran is their offensive and defensive line. The guys are 30, 40, 50 pounds bigger. They've got Division I prospects here. We got a lot of Division III, Division II kids. There's a difference, but yet the work ethic is still the same. They just don't show up and expect to win. They work at it.
Yeah, and what's the biggest what's the biggest thing they have in common right there? Those are programs, right? Yep. So from the youth league to middle school to once they are freshmen or they're playing on the JV, the program is set. The program has a foundation. There's a North Star that guides the program underneath the head coach's philosophy, right? So Coach Pash, in his 15 years has done an unbelievable job of building that foundation. You build it up, and the kids from when they're 12 years old to when they're 18, those 6 or 7 years you got them, they know the expectation of Saint football. The same thing at Roncalli, the same thing at Cathedral, the same thing at Center Grove, the same thing at Carmel, right? Those are championship level programs because they have that pedigree of being a true program from top to bottom.
And you can tell the minute you walk and practice, the minute you go to a game, you can tell that they've got programs. They've been able to develop it, but it takes time. To Coach Pash's credit, this program here at Lutheran was basically launched around 2005. It's still a young program, but it is a program. I mean, this is a really, really sound program that has the potential to win state championships every year. Luckily for Lutheran, I learned today, I didn't realize this, they're in a new cycle. So if they win a state championship, they remain in Class A.
Wow.
They missed this out. Now, the following year, if they go to the state again, then they're going to be bumped up with a success factor. But for the next 2 years, they're in good shape.
Yeah, and I know that I had mentioned some programs in central Indiana. I don't want to discount some of the other areas of the state, the Fort Wayne Snyders and the Bishop Dwangers or the Evansville Wrights, all across the state there's programs like that.
Emily Newland will kick off for Monrovia to start off the third period, trailing 38-6. Another onside kick, second of the game. And down on the knees is Lutheran to pick up the football. Excellent play by number 33 for the Saints, Braden Hall.
Yeah, and right there for the Bulldogs, another gamble, right? But it's an early gamble because they know how electric this Lutheran offense has been, and they immediately want to try to get the ball back because they want to avoid that 35-point mark being hit here early in the third quarter.
And the Saints will take the football at their own 47-yard line. Again, with 5 touchdown passes in the first half. Jackson Willis, the sophomore, number 10, he's got 28 touchdowns on the year. This team 6-0 coming into tonight's game. Jones in motion. They give to Davis off the left side. There he goes. 40, 30, Davis, 20, 15, 10, inside the 5. Joe Davis with a huge run.
It's like he heard you talking at halftime, Mike. Hey, let's turn to the ground game. Joe Davis with about a 50 or 60-yard gain there on first down. And I do want to point something out to the viewers. You guys saw it online there. What a great job of blocking downfield from the wide receiver, right? You got a guy out there. He's going to try to break one. He's going to need some help, and he's got help 30 yards downfield from his wide receiver.
Jackson Willis, first and goal for the Saints. Early on in the third period, looking to break this one open. They got on the board. We got ourselves a running clock. This is Davis, right side. Touchdown, Saints. 44-6. And flag is on the play in the backfield. There's an injured Bulldog on the field at the goal line.
And we see 2 plays and a score, and that's the exact reason why Monrovia went for that onside kick there. They were trying to get possession back as quickly as possible. They didn't want to give the Saints the football.
That's Josie Hand, the two-way player for Monrovia, I think, on the field at the 2-yard line there, number 32. 11 minutes and 26 seconds to go in this third period. and it's 44-6 now. Lutheran on top. Our game tonight is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779, and by Genesis Sports Performance, training Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit them at genesissportsperformance.com. That's Josie Hand, now helped off the field by the trainers. Nice hand by the homestanding Lutheran Saints crowd with 11:26 to go in the third. Joe Davis off right tackle for the touchdown. It was all Joe Davis on that drive. 44-6 Saints.
And for Hand, we talked about him in the second quarter. He's been very, very active for the Bulldogs on both offense and defense. Really carrying a load tonight with Belcher out of the lineup, so he's really had to up his game, if you will, or his carries, his workload on both sides of the football. And so hopefully you see him walk into the sideline under his own power. Hopefully he'll be okay, just a little bit dinged up after that play.
We talked about in the first half that Lutheran came into this ball game averaging 480 yards per game, and that's the norm for this ball club. They are that good. Miller in for the kick. The placement by Jones. It's perfect. 45-6.
We talked about Miller there a little bit in the second quarter as well. Early in the game, Lutheran was really concentrated on two-point conversions, right? Well, Miller is really smooth out there, and as we talked about, when you get into tournament play, you get later into it, special teams becomes the key. Miller looks like a guy you could count on, you could rely on to make a big field goal if you needed him to.
I think what's interesting about Nick Miller, and I might be mistaken, he has not kicked a field goal all season. They don't need to kick field goals.
I was going to say, I don't know if they needed to.
Their offense is so productive. On kickoffs this year, Miller is averaging 45.9 yards average per ball game, and got to be a little bit better than that. 49.5 gives the opposition some space to return the kicks. And that's probably why they've made a change here. This freshman in the ball game there, number 2, as you see, kicking off here. And it's Dax Locklear. Locklear will kick off. Ferris on the near side. Burns, I believe, is on the far side for Monrovia. 45-6 in the third period. The last loss that Lutherans had has been in the year 2020 on November 6th, a 46-38 loss to Covenant Christian. And as young a program as they are only 40-15 in the IHSAA, with already 9 sectionals, 6 regionals, 2 semi-states, and a state championship.
And that loss to Covenant Christian in 2020 was to an eventual state champion. So the only defeat they've had was to the team that ran the table.
Kickoff from the 10. Cross to the 28-yard line. And I believe that was 21 from Monrovia. Jaden Jones, a junior, just 5'8", 130 pounds. It was actually Jaden Jones on the far side, was able to take the return back to the 29-yard line. Now we've got ourselves a running clock.
Yeah, and to explain that to the viewers, once a team goes up by 35 points or more, the clock will continue to run. The only stoppages would be like an injury timeout, end of quarter, things like that. So the clock would even continue to run on an incomplete pass at this point.
And Eli Wagner is the quarterback for the Bulldogs. Looked like a bad snap. He might have picked it up off the turf and got himself back to the line of scrimmage.
So lucky there for Monrovia to retain possession. That's the second time we've seen kind of a mishandled snap or a bad snap for the Bulldogs.
The Saints have been so stout up front.
Second down, Bulldogs.
73, Dylan Duncan, a junior, 5'11", 255. 67, Gavin Mims defensively has been awfully good tonight. The junior, 6 foot 245. So I think Lutheran's going to be good for a number of years. Dave Pash has done a great job of developing talent and building this squad despite some of these blowouts. Krzyzewski, the running back, he is hammered behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle for loss.
Gotta love the intensity from the Lutheran defense here. Even though it's running clock, they're still attacking the football, flying at it as much as possible.
Loss of about 2 on the play. Third down. Third and long, and this has been the MO all night long for Monrovia, with the exception of the first drive. They've been behind the chains, third and long, almost every series they've had the football. Wagner, the quarterback. Eli gives off the right side. He keeps the ball. He gives it to his running back, number 37. He got some yardage. Nice fake. He faked me out there. That was Clement, number 37. He's had some nice runs here tonight.
Yeah, he's been active, especially on kind of those misdirection plays where they're trying to get him off the edge a little bit. Big fourth down here for the Bulldogs. Try to retain, keep the chains moving.
Ashton Clement, fourth down and about 1.5. And Lutheran jumps off sides.
Flag on the play.
Should be a first down upcoming for Monrovia.
Offside Saints.
Credit Eli Wagner, the quarterback, for drawing the Saints off sides.
Referee spots the ball.
Size is a big factor for Lutheran. Coming on the field is the left offensive tackle, Tarian Langston. He's only 6'6", about 290 pounds.
Yeah, solid size up front.
He may be one of the largest Class A football players in the state of Indiana. 5-man front, 3 linebackers for the Saints. Getting the pads down low as Monrovia. Good gain on first down.
Spencer Bauer, 44.
Josie Hand was the ball carrier. Spencer Bauer was one of the tacklers. He is one of the leading stoppers for the Saints. Bauer had 31 tackles coming into the ball game tonight. Leading tackler is Johnny Hall, number 16. He's been all over the field for Dave Pash. Nathan Lohman, who recovered a fumble in the end zone. He's number 51. He has 28 tackles for the Saints. 45-6. 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Make that the third period. Wagner. Somebody jump, no flag. Hand off the right side.
The ball carrier stopped by a post of St. Tacklers.
The big guy coming over from the left side.
Jake Aikens.
On the left side of the defense, number 72. Tarian is one of the tacklers, Tarian Langston. Cameron McCaney, number 79, just a freshman. They list him at 260. I think he might have gained a few pounds after the season started. Third down and short for Monrovia. Third period. Burns in motion. Wagner. Krzyzewski on the right side. And he's run down. Brian Shelby was the tackler.
Great one-on-one tackle out there by Shelby on the right side. It was just him in the back, and Shelby got the better of him.
Lost about a yard on the play.
Fourth down, and Andy Olson, again, going for broke here. Another fourth down conversion upcoming for the Bulldogs. They're down 45-6. They have nothing but to improve in this ball game.
Yeah, got to go for it. Got to go for all of them here at this point.
Fourth down at about 2.5 for Eli Wagner. Hand and Kostrowski in the backfield. Hand, I think that's a first down.
That's going to be close.
That's a good mark.
That will be a first. Nice job there by the Bulldogs up front. I know that they're trailing big in this game, but the offensive line on a couple of occasions tonight have really gotten really great pushes up front, especially up the middle and off the right side.
And not a good sign for Lutheran. As we just mentioned, Tarian Langston, number 72, walks off the field limping on his, looked like his right leg there. Hand off the right side. He gets a couple there. And again, the Lutheran Saints doing a really nice job up fronting. And up front there, again, number 79, Cameron McCaney, the freshman.
6'7", Gavin Mims in on the stop. Ball at the 45-yard line. Second down.
3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. Josie Hand has been handling the football most tonight for Monrovia. Eli Wagner, under center. That's Josie Hand. He goes nowhere. He's nowhere.
There's too much pressure in the backfield. It's actually, it would be easier for us to count the Saints that weren't in the backfield that time, Mike, because they had 6 or 7 dudes right there to make that play.
Once again, the big guy, 79, Cameron McCaney, was in to make this tackle for the Saints. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long once again.
You were talking about some of the size on the Lutheran team. You know, that's like the old phrase that they got the all parking lot team. You know, when you see those guys get off the bus, you're like, whoa, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, that first impression of those guys is very, very impressive.
Wagner looked for Burns. He was covered. Now throws this one incomplete, and he's hit from behind. He is hammered from behind. Defensively, that was 61, Owen Letcher, a 5'11", 180-pound sophomore. He did a great job coming from behind to bring him down.
Man, and Wagner took a blow. Not only did he get hit hard, he hit the turf hard on that one.
Sweet coming in to do the punting for Monrovia. And deep is Cabrian Shelby for Lutheran. The kick just underway. Fumbled. Ball on the turf at the 20. It's got some space. 30, 40, look out. Look out. Down to the inside the 20. Cabrian Shelby. I don't see a flag on the play. Cabrian Shelby, he was awfully slick there as he ran down the right sideline inside the Bulldogs 20.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good example of making something out of nothing. You mishandle the punt. It's on the turf. You got a couple of Bulldogs right in your face. You make a couple of guys miss, and boom, get a block on the sideline, and he's free for about 40 yards before anyone puts a hand on him.
Put the football on the 17-yard line. The Saints marching one again in the red zone with 1:45 to go in the 3rd period. I believe we might have a new quarterback.
Campbell Richardson, number 6.
Campbell Richardson, 5'11", 180-pound junior, number 6, in at quarterback. He's a right-hander. He's looking down the middle. On the right side, throws, and this one is tipped right at the last minute by a defender from Monrovia, and the Lutheran receiver was L.J. Ward.
I got to tell you, Mike, I love that. New quarterback, let's get him right into it, right? You know, let's let him get some throws in. Let's let him play the game, right? And Richardson puts a pretty good ball into the end zone right there, and it took a pretty solid defensive play to knock that away at the last second.
Campbell Richardson with the clock running under 1 minute. Jones in motion. The give off the left side. He breaks one tackle. He gets another. Solid run there by number 33. That's Braden Hall. Braden Hall, the junior. Now Coach Pash is using some of these youngsters in the lineup, up 45-6.
I mean, I know it's early with these, at least with these guys in the game, but I like that they haven't changed the playbook at all, right? We've got some young guys in here. They need that experience. You got to play the game the same way that the starters are playing. Call it same playbook for these guys.
Campbell Richardson out of the shotgun for Lutheran. Lost the ball, picked up by Hall, falls on it. safe play for Lutheran. The clock will not stop. We'll run it through. The Saints up 45-6.
Loss of about 4 on the play.
Doesn't look like they'll get another playoff. And that means we'll end the third period play. So, as we end the final stanza of this ball game, Lutheran en route to its 22nd straight victory of the year, 22nd straight victory of their program, not of the year. They'll be 7-0 on the year. 45 Lutheran, Monrovia 6. We'll be back on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at genesissportsperformance.com.
I drive a 2022 Telluride Nightfall Edition. I love it. So when we found out we were having twins, we knew we needed a bigger car with a third row. So the Telluride with the captain's chairs fits perfectly with our family. It gets great gas mileage. Actually, we went to Holiday World and got averaged about 29 miles a gallon. I like the lane keep assist because sometimes kids can distract you and you're not noticing what you're doing, and it beeps at you if you are getting too close to the lines. Ray Skillman Kia is my store. I'll never go to any other store. Can you say, I love Kia? Kia. Say I love Kia. Yay!
Back at Lutheran as Braden Hall carries to start off the fourth.
Down by Josie Hand, number 32.
He gets close to the first down marker. It'll be fourth down. Fourth and short, maybe less than a yard here. Well, they're going to give him a first down. Braden Hall gets the first down. They're going to move the markers. First and goal for Lutheran on top of Monrovia here in the fourth quarter. Braden Hall steps to the right, to the left, in the gap, touchdown. Nope, wait a second. They got him down to the 1 yard line. Good job by Monrovia stopping him. That was number 4 for the Bulldogs, Jackson Ferris. So it'll be second and goal.
And you want to talk about inches to go? I mean, they're inches to the goal line at this point.
There's Hall. He's in. That's a touchdown. Braden Hall with the touchdown. It's 51-6.
I mean, as we talked about there at the end of the third quarter, Mike, I mean, I just really appreciate from Lutheran, you get these younger guys. One, you're getting the younger guys snaps, which is great. The varsity experience for them, that's unmatched. That's untouchable. You can't replicate that in practice. But number 2, hey, we're gonna dial up the same plays. This is the same playbook. I expect you guys to perform. Go out and go do it.
Jones. I'm not sure if there's a fake pass in the back of the end zone. There's a flag on the play.
I think it's going to be pass interference.
If there is indeed a pass interference call, and it is, the ball will be marked. Maybe placed what, about the 1?
I think it should be at the 1.
Penalty on Monrovia. Half the distance to the goal.
Devon Jones will hold with Nick Miller out on the field for the extra point. Waiting for Johnny Hall to run on the field here. Play clock just starts, fortunately for him.
Nick Miller in to attempt the point after.
Jones will hold for the Saints. The kick, it's strong leg by Nick Miller, and it's good, and it's 52-6.
Nearly reaches 465.
All right, Mike, I'm going to flip the script on you. You've seen some games in your time and this season as well. Lutheran tonight, I feel, has been very impressive. We talked about the offense a lot. Defense was really solid. I mean, Monrovia was pretty good on that opening drive to score the 6. after that, pretty much shut down. They're not going to reach their season average of yardage in this game. What are your impressions of Lutheran?
Well, I'm impressed by their ability to move the football and defensively to put pressure on Eli Wagner. In a situation where they're well ahead, their kids are still playing hard, and that's a reflection of the coaching staff. Now, the biggest concern I would have for Lutheran and their staff is they haven't played anybody competitive lately. Throughout the course of the season, the Cecina game was a competitive game. They need more of those games to be able to make a run in the state tournament. You need to have those kinds of things because you want your starters to play more. But other than that, the good news is it's kind of a catch-22. The good news is you play a lot of young guys. The bad news is you play a lot of young guys. You want your veterans to get more snaps and more competitive games like the Cecina game. But this is a team, no doubt, very impressive.
And, you talked about who they've played so far this season. Triton Central's had a really solid year. Cecina, really solid ball club. Both those teams are 5-0 overall. And to Lutheran's credit, those were wins that, they were both double-digit victories for them. And that's the case in point, right? Beech Grove is solid. They're 500, right? But really, for Lutheran, you're going to have to compare yourself with Triton Central and Cecina as you go into the tournament, as you get prepared for a South Putnam, as you get prepared for a Covenant Christian.
The closer the games you have, the better you have. But then again, they're so good that maybe you don't need close games. And frankly, just like college football and National Football League, from the standpoint of high school games, it's one game at a time, and every game is different. You have different personnel, you have different field, you have different officials, and frankly, you have different levels of energy that each kid plays. But one thing you've pointed out that Lutheran's been very consistent in terms of their offense. Speaking of offense, their defense is awfully good too. Josie Hand was a ball carrier. He got nowhere, absolutely nowhere. The defense for the Saints has been fantastic. That was 63, Nate Hicks.
Well, Hand was banged up a little bit earlier and came out, so good to see him back in the action. That's good to see if you're Monrovia. But, we can talk about Jackson Willis and the weapons they've got on offense, but we should talk about this Saints defense a little bit more tonight. We mentioned it. They gave up the one big drive to start the game. Monrovia goes down. They march about 70 yards and punch one in. You're thinking, all right, Bulldogs are here to play. Since that moment, Wagner and company on the offensive side for Monrovia really hasn't done a whole lot.
Wagner, the give. There's a nice run. And I believe
Number 7 on the carry.
That was Krzyzewski.
Dustin Kostaszewski.
And he gets himself a first down. He slowed down a little bit. He tried to switch the ball in his hands, and I think it cost him a little bit.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid the fumble, secure the football, which is good, which is great, actually. But it did slow down his momentum just a little bit. But a nice run, nice carry for Monrovia.
10 dogs.
A running clock, 6:15 and under to go in the ball game. 52-6, Lutheran on top. Saints will be 7-0 after this one is wrapped up. Next week at Speedway, Shane Clampett's ball club 4-2 coming to tonight. Krzyzewski breaks away from a tackler and gets down on the ground, and actually it's number 1, Joseph Smith, freshman. Joseph Smith, number 1 instead of 7. So the Bulldogs and Coach Andy Olson getting some youngsters some playing time out here tonight.
Yeah, and we talked about it with Lutheran, but the same thing for Monrovia. Just getting those young guys snaps in a varsity game is going to make so much difference for them down the road. Maybe not necessarily this season, but next year, right? Just getting them in the game, seeing playing under the Friday night lights too. That's a big deal.
Wagner again to Smith. And I believe he gave to the second guy coming back and missed that one. That was 37, Clement. Instead of Smith, it was Clement coming through on the little flanker reverse, and he goes backwards. Third down.
About 3 on the play. It's going to bring up third down.
You mentioned Speedway earlier. Lutheran's going to travel there next week. Nice little bounce back year for the Spark Plugs over there. And I got to tell you, Mike, one of my favorite nicknames, the Spark Plugs. So cool, so unique. You know, you're right there next to the Motor Speedway. It's really cool.
And that'll be a conference game for these two ball clubs.
And that'll be the final conference game of the season for Lutheran. So next week will be their chance to run the conference table again, which they've done, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row.
Great effort there by Lutheran's defense, bringing down Smith, 71, Luke Neal, another freshman, 5'10", 170-pounder. Defensively, Jack Beard, 58, did a great job tonight. Gavin Mims, Johnny Hall, Nate Lohman, Spencer Bauer, Jake Akins, Cam Patterson, C.J. Irvin, you mentioned, had an interception. Micah McKay, L.J. Ward. This defense was just outstanding. As you see Sweet back for the punt, it'll be 4th down for Monrovia. Sweet off the left foot. Ball bounces backwards, and back for that kick was number 7, L.J. Ward. And the ball's down about the 27.
Saints will take over, 1st and 10.
3:27. The clock stops here to go in the ball game. 52-6. Lutheran on top of Monrovia.
We'll see how aggressive the Saints are here. I think I got a feeling they're gonna let Richardson throw it around a little bit here on this drive.
It looks like there may be a different quarterback out there. Back to pass, throw on the right side. This one incomplete. It is Mason Schrum, the freshman, number 12. At quarterback now. He's 5'10", 145 pounds. So Dave Pash is playing another youngster.
Well, you know, it might not have been Richardson, but they're going to let Schrum throw it around, right?
And the clock doesn't stop because we have a running clock here with the Saints on top of Monrovia, 52-6. Monrovia, as we talked about, next week, taking on Cascade. Back to pass, Schrum, pass is caught. Got himself a 1st down. Smith, the freshman, on the tackle, about the 39-yard line, but not after a 1st down. Snow was the receiver.
Good for a Saints.
Solid pitch and catch right there. Good rhythm, good flow. Nice little route on the outside. Just a basic comeback, right? Push the defender out, get enough leverage on the way back that you're wide open.
Under 2:20 to play now in the ball game. 1st down for the Saints at their own 39-yard line. Schrum, the freshman, he goes back to pass, gets a rush, steps in, he goes down. And finally, Monrovia gets a sack in the backfield.
In on the stop for the Dogs, 76, Tyler Romer.
Tyler Romer going to get the sack, the senior. He's 6 foot, 235 pounds. We talked about Lutheran's defense, but boy, their offense tackles Lewis Mobley, Dylan Duncan at guard, Hunter Johnson the center, Jack Beard the guard, and Tavian Langston did a great job opening up holes and protecting their quarterback.
Cole Snow on the carry around the left side.
Kendall comes up, makes the tackle on Cole Snow after a gain of 2.
Dominic Kendall, number 24.
1:15 to go in the ball game.
We've talked about it a lot tonight, Mike. A couple of regular season games remaining, and as we mentioned, Lutheran winning next week would secure an undefeated conference slate and another conference championship for them. But I'm very, very intrigued and excited, to be honest with you, to see how this Saints team performs once we get to the postseason. They've got all the facets of the game, a lot of skill. Obviously, they've got a top-notch quarterback, but the defense, the linebackers, that defensive line, the way that they would match up with the other 1A teams, I'm very, very intrigued to see what the postseason looks like for them.
I think their size and athleticism will be no match whatsoever in sectional play. I don't like to predict games, but there's no doubt about it. Their athleticism and size is going to create all sorts of problems. I've seen South Putnam play. They're just not in the same ball game as South Putnam. There's a reason why this team is the 17th best in the state. They are for real.
Yeah, an unbelievable statistic. I know we talked about it off air before we came on, but I'm a big Sagarin guy. A nice little screen pass right there. Got some space. That was ran to perfection right there, Mike. But I love looking at the Sagarin ratings. It's never perfect, but it's really, really good, and it's really, really interesting to look at. And it's eye-popping when you see a 1A school as the 17th ranked team in the Sagarin rankings across the state. No matter of classification, none of that. Sagarin, and they're probably going to go up after this game, a 52-6 victory.
You're not going to see that very often. Now, once in a while, you might see Lafayette Central Catholic, a powerhouse in Lafayette, break that top 25 or maybe the top 30, but this ball club is for real as the victory is in hand for Lutheran. The Saints move to 7-0. The final score here at Lutheran Field, 52-6, Lutheran over Monrovia. Thad Van Evener and I will give you a recap on this one. Again, the final 52-6. We'll be back on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Drive home your new Kia from the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. We have brand new Kias arriving daily.
Plus, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And payments as low as $199 a month.
We service all makes and models.
And we'll buy your old car on the spot. Right, Oscar?
Y hablamos español.
Come see us at the all-new Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue.
It's not just a car dealership for me. This is my dealership.
Just minutes from anywhere in Indy or online at rayskillmanshadeland.com.
Looking for training that makes a difference? Then Genesis Sports Performance is for you. Whether you're a grade school, high school, or college athlete, or just looking to get back into shape, Genesis has customized programs providing rapid gains in strength and conditioning, speed and agility. Genesis features a 7,000 square foot facility with state-of-the-art weight room and huge turf surface. Call Genesis at 386-7459 or visit them at GenesisSportsPerformance.com.
Universal Roofing and Exteriors is a family-owned and operated business, providing care and honest service for over 30 years. Universal has always been a little bit different. Their certified and trained employees don't just provide excellent work at a fair low price. They care about their customers, simply providing great customer service. Quality, honesty, dependability. That's Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Call us today at 317-257-0779.
Hi, I'm Steve Hartley, owner and founder of High Gear Marketing, a digital advertising company focusing on data to help businesses improve market share and drive new customers. Are you tired with the lack of accountability from your current vendors? Are you frustrated with your return on investment? Well, my program is different. You actually don't pay unless you sell something. High Gear Marketing takes all the risk. You have zero to lose. If you're interested, text me at 317-523-4100.
Yeah, but he had that one deep ball. Yeah.
Tonight's game is built by Universal Roofing Exteriors. Visit them at universalrfg.com or call 317-257-0779. And our game has been brought to you tonight by Genesis Sports Performance Training. Genesis Sports Performance Training, Indianapolis area grade and high school athletes and adult strength training. Visit GenesisSportsPerformance.com. Our final score tonight, Lutheran 52, Monrovia 6. Thad Van Evener, a dominant performance by the Saints.
Very impressive. I mean, I think we kind of knew what we expected from Lutheran tonight. Number one in the state, undefeated, 21-game winning streak. They actually surpassed my expectations tonight. I thought We kind of knew what Jackson Willis was all about. We kind of knew the offense. The Saints' defense tonight, after that first possession from Monrovia, after that, locked him down, shut him down. The total package from them, too. Special teams was great tonight for Lutheran. I expect competition level will increase once you get deeper into the tournament, right? But I expect that they will be up for the task and up for the challenge every single week, even as they move into late October, into November games.
One concern that I think any Lutheran fan would have is the fact that there may be a letdown when you play a team as good as Cecina last week and knocking off the Crusaders 28-19. But tonight, there was no letdown whatsoever on either side of the football.
Yeah, you could maybe consider that opening drive as the letdown, if you will, right? And I bet those defenders came off the field. There was probably a little bit of challenging going on the sidelines from the coaching staff and the other players on the squad. But, yeah, really impressed with them, what they did. And they responded after that early score from Monrovia. It was, hey, Monrovia scored. It was, hey, they're here to compete. They're going to play. And then Lutheran went bang, 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 52 straight unanswered points to kind of shut the door. And really it was 31 straight there before the half, which was very impressive. I think what we calculated, they scored 31 points in about 11 minutes and 30 seconds of game action.
Jackson Willis, a sophomore southpaw quarterback for the Lutheran Saints, was sensational in tonight's game. And the good news for Dave Pash, he's got him for another 2 years.
Yeah, it's not a bad option, right? To have that guy back. The thing I love, too, we can talk about Jackson Willis and the way that he performed, but the offensive line for Lutheran, Willis was never really, I think he was pressured one time in which he escaped out of the pocket and got some positive yards with his feet. Other than that, a really good sign for an offensive lineman is at the end of the game when your quarterback's got a clean jersey, right? Yeah. He looked untouched tonight as he was walking off the field. All the pressure in the world was never on him. He's just out there slinging the football around, making plays.
Well, a great finish for Lutheran as they go to 7-0, and Monrovia falls to 2-5. Lutheran dominates this football game in a conference matchup. The final score, once again, Lutheran 52, Monrovia 6. For Steve Hunter, our producer, and Thad Van Evener, I'm Mike Walensky. Thanks for watching tonight's high school football game. You've been watching this on IndianaHighSchoolSports.com.
Tonight's game on IndianaHighSchoolSports.net has been built by Universal Roofing and Exteriors. Visit Universal at universalrfg.com. And brought to you in part by Genesis Sports Performance. Visit Genesis at genesissportsperformance.com. And by Ray Skillman Northeast Kia on Shadeland Avenue. And by High Gear Marketing at highgearmktg.com. This has been a presentation of IndianaHighSchoolSports.net and High Gear Sports.